a small grapevine wreath. This is only a 14-inch oval. I'm using the small sign. Now the reason I'm going small for this design is because not everybody has a house. You know, there's a lot of people that live in RVs nowadays, small homes, apartments. Say your mother's in assisted living or a nursing home. This is something small that's going to fit on your doorway, and we're going to embellish it. We're going to put it in here. Now on this, you see that it's got flowers of different colors. It looks like it's in a wicker basket with a little bit of greenery and butterflies. Okay, so I'm going to add some yellow butterflies. Okay, matches the yellow butterfly on the sign. You see? My main flower are going to be these posies. I think they're called posies. They look like posies to me. Okay. And then I'm going to add some tiny white roses to accent the color. Now they both, if you see, they both have yellow centers. So I'm sticking with the pinks and the yellows and the whites, and then the light green. I'm going to use this as my base. Okay. So here we go. And if I need any filler flowers, I've got Over Reliable, the 60919, just in case I need to fill in some blank spots. So here you see those? Those are in pinks, different shades of pinks, and it does have some yellow in it. Okay. I know our sign has pinks and blues and purples. You could use really all colors and florals. See, it's got some white daisies, some gladiolus. Looks like maybe some bluebells. I see some poppies, just different flowers, but I'm sticking to these pink. Okay, so what I do is we're going to start by outlining the base of what we want. Okay, this kind of curls in, so I want to make sure this side is down. Yeah, there we go. Let me get my clippers. Now I only clip things that are hanging out or that might scratch my customer's door. I don't clean it up a whole lot, other than just the things that I think might poke someone in the eye or might scratch someone's door. So I'm going to trim these down a little. I like to leave my grapevines as natural as possible. Oh, this isn't going to let me get wide enough to cut it. One of these days I'm going to get me some stronger clippers. There we go. I just cut out the part that sticks out past, I don't know if you can see, there's where I cut it. I just cut it so it doesn't stick out past the frame or the profile of the entire wreath. Okay, so what I'm going to use, this is a ficus. I'm going to cut it up, and I'm just going to use it to outline where I want my florals to be. I usually take two, it usually takes two and a half, but I will cut it all up. And what this does is help me keep an image of what I want going forward. So how is everybody this Sunday? Was anybody affected by those god-awful storms last night? One came through here. They called it a wind event. Now to me, 80-mile-an-hour winds is not an event. If you're not careful, it could relocate your house. At the very least, your porch, your deck furnishings. Okay. So what we're going to do is take these, I bend them slightly so that they match the curvature of the grapevine. Let me put my down here. Now this is just my dry run. Just so I get an idea of where I'm going to put everything. And then I will glue these in. I think I want my bow up here. I think I'm going to put my bow up here. I'll put the majority of my florals down along the bottom here. And I always curve my florals so that they will fall around the shape of the wreath. Okay, let's put this in here. Okay. So this is going to go here. have to move it over a little, up a little. We'll see. I don't like covering up the words. And that's why I lay out my base as a dry run first, just so I can get a look at how everything is going to lay. I have one leaf. That's a pain in the tuchus. I'll just set that aside. Okay, so there we go. We're going to put our sign sort of like this. Okay, let me look at it and see how it's going to look in the photo. I can raise it if I want to. Yeah, let's raise it up a bit. I might need a little piece of greenery right down here. So like I said, I usually use 2 to 2.5 pieces of my greenery. And we're going to slide this one right here. Okay, so that's going to be the outline of our florals. From the bow, this is going to go up, and then the main part is going to come down. Okay, so let's go through and let's glue those pieces in. Okay. Next comes our main flower. Now this is a pusher, which means that you can push the stems up. I am going to cut them loose. Sometimes if I'm making larger wreaths or larger stems, like, not larger, if I'm making like bundle method, or I'm making, making a, so now I can't talk, I lost my words. Oh shoot, arrangements. Be they floral arrangements for the house, centerpieces, or my cemetery bouquets. I will use them whole. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start at the top. I bend my stems because, well, nothing in nature is straight. Nothing in my house is straight. I can't even hang a picture straight. And with these, I'm going to go ahead and glue them in as I place them. Okay. Now you want to make sure that your florals come up off. Don't make them flat. Nothing's flat. Flat is boring. Okay. And then I just place them here and there. Now, when you look at nature, if you have a flower bed, if you look at it, nothing lays flat. I mean, I don't know about your flower bed, but my flower bed grows everywhere. Nothing on it lays flat. And nothing grows in the order that I put it in. I guess you have to be a professional gardener to get your garden to lay. Okay, so there's our top. We're going to put 3 of our florals up there, or 3 stems. Okay. And then we're going to come down along the bottom. Now I'm going to start at the bottom and work towards the top. This way I get that layering effect. Now I'm not by all means an expert wreath maker, and I'm not one to teach you. So I'm not really here to teach you, I'm just here to share with you what I do. This is how I do it. I got a drop on a leaf. And I'm pushing my leaves upwards. And the reason I'm using these leaves is because I like the color contrast. And when I put these in, I'm putting them in sideways along, I don't know if you can see, I'm going along the grapevine, wrappings. Okay. Now I love taking walks in nurseries and in garden areas, just so I can see how nature's growing. I like looking at the flowers. I like looking at how things flow. And I find a lot of enjoyment in that. So in my designs, you're not going to find the big, fancy, over-the-top, outrageous designs. Not that they're not beautiful. I have several people who make these big, huge, just amazing creations, and I love them. They're just, it's just not how I create. I like mine to be more subtle, gentle, something like an old-fashioned tea garden. If you've ever been through a nursery, like Powell Gardens or Bush Gardens, if you go through those, you'll see the florals aren't staged. They're made in natural groupings. They're made, well, they're made to attract butterflies. They're made to look good together. And no one thing stands out. Okay, so we're just working our way up, layering each one. I might need to put another one up here. We'll see. Just so that it cascades. I like the cascading image. Okay. And like I said, I'm by no means a teacher on this. If you want to know a good teacher, I have several friends. Well, I call them friends. But I have several people that I know that do this professionally. And they're beautiful artists. They make beautiful, oops. They make beautiful designs. Okay, so let me give you a close-up while I get the glue off my fingers. See how each one is layering? See how each one is layering on top as it goes up so that it has that cascading flow? And I'm intertwining them into the leaves. So some of them are going to be on top of the leaves, some of them are going to be under them. Like I said, I'm just doing it so I get a layering effect. I think I'm going to put this fellow right here. See if I can get him to go in. Come on, go in a little further for me. There we go. Yeah. And then this one. Okay, so this is what we have. Now see how those white or light green leaves play off of the light color in the flower foliage? It gives it a lighter color base and background. One of these days I'm going to get a better camera stand for you all, but there's a general idea. So now we're going to take our white flowers, and we are going to go through and snip them off too. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we get 4 bunches off of there. But if you look, each one's got some clusters on it. So it's not like it's just 4 flowers. And what we're going to do is we're going to use these to fill in where we see holes, big gaps between our bigger flowers. Okay, and I think at the top here I'm going to cut these off. This guy's going to have to go. Maybe I'll save that and put it in the bow. Okay, so like I said, bend it, and I'm going to put one right here. Just like that. I'm going to take this one. Sometimes these are hard to get into where you want them. And I know a lot of people would take these pieces and throw them away. I don't, because again, I put them in the bow so that the bow looks like it's part of the foliage and not just a standalone afterthought addition. Okay, so see how we place those in there? They're not standing out, they're not yelling, they're just a gentle addition to what's already there. And again, make sure you weave them in and out of your current florals. Okay? Sorry about the dog barking. He heard something. Okay? So there we go. See how we weave those in and out? Now let's do the bottom. I'm going to start right here between these two. Now I like this. I don't know if you can see on them, but it has little plastic buds. Sorry, I can't see to get down underneath here. It's just kind of peeking out down there at the bottom. And I'm going to put this one, this one's too short. So this is a short one, so I'm going to put it right here. Come on, get between. There we go. Make sure it's in there. Okay, let's go over. Do I have another really long one? Yeah. I'm going to cut these two sides off. I'm going to use this long one to go in here. Now the nice part about these is with them being wired, you can get them in the general area of where you want them. Get them into the grapevine. And then you can bend and place them where you want them to be. Okay? I want this to go. Here we go. Don't be afraid to use that wire to your advantage. Bend and move those florals around to where you want them to lay. And don't worry about, well, you have to alternate colors, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, this is your creation. Consider this your art piece. So you put the florals the way you want them, the way you see them in your head. I know some people say, well, no, you can't do it that. Yes, you can. You do it how you want to. I know there's a lot of creators that say it has to look this way, or it has to be that way, but no. I think of this as your canvas. This grapevine is my canvas, and what I'm doing is creating art on it. Now, if you were a painter, you wouldn't let someone tell you how to make your painting. So, as a floral designer, don't let people bully you and tell you you have to do things in a very specific pattern or very specific way. Do your vision, and if you have problems visualizing what a flower bed should look like, go online. Go online and look at them. Google flower beds. Google famous gardens. Just nature's floral valleys. You'll see that stuff isn't always cut and dry ABC. You do things the way you visualize them, and not the way someone tells you to. I think that's why so many people get frustrated, is because people keep telling them how their design should look, and then they're not happy because it doesn't look like the vision they had in their head, and so it upsets them. Don't let anybody tell you how to design. See, I didn't do any rhyme or reason between this. I just went through and filled in where I thought it needed filling in. Okay? So now, before I add my filler flowers, I know I'm going to need some here and here around the bow, but I'm going to make the bow next. Okay, so let's set this aside. And also, don't forget to make companion pieces. You notice I got 2 of everything here still left over. If I wanted to, I could make a small centerpiece to go with this. So someone could have the matching centerpiece sitting on their deck table and have this hanging on the back deck door. Okay, so what I did is I took the colors out of the sign. Okay, all of these ribbons, pink, pinks, purples, greens, florals, just like what's in the sign, okay? Now, looking at them by themselves, you may not think they match, but when you put them with the sign, you can see how they coordinate and they play off of the colors of the sign. So, feel free to match. Mix and match. Pull what is in the sign so that your ribbons coordinate with the sign. So, this is a Sam's Club ribbon. I'm going to put that at the bottom. And then, looking at it, I think I'm going to go with the pink next. And I don't want to put the purple next, because if I put this purple next, it'll lay in the same as this one. So I'm going to put this green, this olive green, which matches the grass. I don't know if you can tell, matches the grass. Put that olive green next, and put this. Then I'm going to put this one. And this one is a deluxe ribbon. It's a two-sided ribbon. I'm going to use this as my center, only because it's two-sided. It's beautiful. And I think it brings out the florals, the pink florals, the best, okay? Again, sorry for the dog. Chihuahuas, they think they're the king of the world. They're size of a midget, but they think they're Andre the Giant. Okay? Now, I do the simple clover leaf bows, and I usually make them 6 to 6.5 inches. Okay, and on my tails, I always make the bottom tails 12 inches because you can always go shorter, but you can't go longer. So you gather it up, twist it, and put it in your bow maker. Now, as you can tell, I have arthritis. It's starting to really affect my hands, so I use the bow maker. And don't feel bad about using it. People will mock you and say it's not a real bow if you use bow maker, but do what your hands can handle. Don't fight. And besides, if I have to go discipline the dog, I can get up and leave, and my bow's not going to go anywhere. So now I'm going to make my loop, and I'm going to make the corner of my loop come out 6 inches, maybe a little more. Gather it and twist it. Same thing, come out about 6 inches. Push it down. Now this time I'm not going to twist it because I'm going to go up. Now I'm going to check my length, make sure they're the same, and then I'm going to get the magic scissors here, and I'm going to cut the top. Now when I cut my top ribbons, I like to keep the flow, you know, I don't know, the visual line. So this may be a little long. So the ribbon is going to kind of curl. And then I can move it around, but the basic shape is there. Okay, let's get the pink one. Okay, I'm going to pinch it, twist it. It's my top tail. I'm going to make my loop. Now on the second ribbon, what I'm going to do is make the loop a little smaller. I usually use about 2 fingers smaller. Gather it, twist it. Same thing on this side. Make sure my 2 loops are the same length. Look, this one's a little short. Here we go. And then I'm going to pull it down. The reason I put the bow in is because the ribbon will take up real estate. And there's no sense in wasting money and filling up the real estate that you're going to cover. All right, now in my bow, you see that I'm skipping around between 5/8, 2-inch 5/8. It doesn't matter. Don't tell them that. Don't let people tell you you have to go in a specific order on the sizes of your ribbon. You do your ribbon however it feels good. Okay, bring it a little shorter. Pinch, twist. Pinch, twist. Make sure my loops are the same size. There you go. Bring it to the top. Okay, so now we're going to go for the lavender. This is a 2.5. This is a 1.5. So, twist it, put it in my bow maker. Go to the top. Loop it. Make sure my loop is smaller than the green one, the one below it. Pinch, twist. Twist it. Come down. Let's see if they're the same length. And cut it. Okay, so So I have pink on this side, so now I want pink on this side. See how I make sure that my colors alternate back and forth? That way I don't have all the same color on one side. You don't have to do that. That is a OCD. Now if you notice, when I put this in, it kind of makes everything pop, the pink, and it also looks like a garden fence, and that's why I selected it. It gives the illusion of a garden fencing. The white will match the white roses that we used, and the pink will match the outer edges of the pink flowers. Okay, if you can see how our colors, our pinks and greens are matching. The lavender is going to match the sign, and the greens in the sign, and the greens in the ribbon and the flowers. Now here's our final piece. Like I said, this is a beautiful deluxe two-sided ribbon, and what I'm going to do is make this the center loop, just like you would the center of a flower, you might say. Plus it's really thick and it makes that center loop stand up. Okay, I'm going to trim this. Now I don't put my ribbons away because when I make a wreath, I always send a gift wreath or a gift bow with my wreaths. So I usually send a small bow for the garden light or lamppost or mailbox, whichever. Okay. So when I take this off, I'm going to put my thumb at the top here. Can you see? I put my thumb at the top, and then I slowly bring up my ribbons so that they keep their stack, and then I pinch them between my two fingers. Make sure I got everybody. Make sure nobody's folded over, and hold it. Now I don't squeeze it, but I hold it firmly so it doesn't undo. I put my zip tie around it. Again, making sure my stack stays straight, and then I'll tighten. I won't squeeze it tight, because see how this folded over? If you cinched it down too tight, you wouldn't be able to straighten up your ribbons. Make sure everything is where it should be. Yes, and then you can take it and cinch it down. And you know you have it tight enough when you see your bows, your loops, and your ribbons start to pop up. Again, that's why we use wired ribbon. Okay. Cut my zip tie. And now I just do a rough fluff of my bow, just to make sure everything is on the side it's supposed to be. I've got everything looking the way I want it. This comes up to the center. And see how I've left the bow tails long enough so I could do that arch. All right, let's get a pipe cleaner. Now I'm going to feed the pipe cleaner through the top loop between the two tails. Bring it along that zip tie so it hides that zip tie. Make it tight and twist it. Now the reason I do this is in case my customer decides they want to change the bow. They love the wreath, they don't want to mess with the wreath, but they want a different bow. Okay, no problem. We'll make you a different bow. And this way when they undo the bow, the pipe cleaners from the back to release the bow, they don't release, they don't mess up and release the bow itself. Okay, so there's our bow. Let's get our wreath back and get my needle. Okay, so now my bow is going to fill in that spot we left. We're going to put that right there. What I have is a needle. This is a darning needle. You get it in the cross stitch section. And I feed that needle down through the grapevine, so that my mechanics don't show. Okay, so can you see how that feeds it through so that it's not wrapped around the outside of the grapevine? Let's do the other side. And again, feed it so it goes inside the grapevine. Oops. And pull it through. There we go. Now on the back, I've got my two pipe cleaners pulled through. And on the front, I'm going to make sure I don't have any of the florals caught under the bow. Okay. And we're going to cinch it down. And then tuck that back up. Oop. Let me clean up the back here. I see some pieces sticking through. Always check the back of your grapevine and your mesh wreaths. You want to make sure that none of the floral wires stick through and scratch your customer's door. That would be bad for business. That and it would make me feel terrible. Now I will double check it again on a piece of glass I have downstairs before I ship it to make sure I don't hear it scratching on the piece of glass. If I hear it scratching, then I will turn it over. Turn it over and glue it again. Nope. There we go. And if you want to, you can always put a dollop of glue on the stickies if you're afraid they're going to scratch. Okay, so now we're going to turn our wreath upside down. We're going to fluff our bow, move our loops around, and we're going to trim our tails. Always wait until you have it on the wreath before you trim your tails. Otherwise, you don't know how long or how short to trim them. And don't be afraid to encourage your ribbons to feed in and around your foliage. That way it looks like it's part of the design and not an afterthought. I know I keep saying that. I used to not have it intermingled, and I couldn't understand why nobody would buy my wreaths. And then I realized it's because it doesn't look finished. It looks segmented. Is that how you say it? Segmented? You saw a definite starting point. And it just didn't look right. Okay. So now I'm dovetailing all of these. I changed my mind from a slant cut to a dovetail. I like the dovetail better. Then I'm moving the florals around. Now if your tails don't hang the way you want them, don't be afraid to pull a dollop of glue here and there just to make sure that they hang where you want them to hang. Again, this is wired ribbon. Don't be afraid to move it around and use it. Okay, this is too long. I want it to hang at the top of that flower, not at the bottom. I don't want it to cover that flower up. I want it to hang just above that flower. Yeah, like that. Same with this. I want it to hang just above the flower, not cover it. I want this flower to come on top, this to come underneath. We're going to bring this one up a little bit. And I'm going to shorten this just a tad. Again, I want it to hang above that white flower, not cover it. Okay. So there we go. There's our bow. And see how it blends in with the florals? Now I do have some naked spots I need to fill up, but that's why we saved our filler for last. Okay. Right here in the split is where I'm going to put this rose. Remember the small one that we kept? Oh, come on, you silly thing. There it goes. Let's put another glue on it because I had to move it. I want to make sure it stays. Okay. So it looks like it's coming out from underneath our bow. Okay. That way, we didn't waste. We didn't waste any of our florals. I mean, your florals are your most expensive item, so don't waste them. If you need to wait until the end, see how we laid that there? Right. So now to make sure that the bow looks like over here, that it's, we're going to go ahead and put some of these leaves in. All you have to do is take some glue, lift up your loops, and just glue them down. This pink ribbon's too long. Let's just trim it a smidgy. I'm going to trim this one just a smidgy. And so then we need to trim this one. There we go. Okay, let's go over on this side and take another one of our flowers. I'm going to cut it a little short, cut off this knob. And put some glue on it. And we're going to glue it right between those. Okay. And see how that just integrates the greenery with the bow? And that's what you're looking for. I'm going to put this right here at the top. And all you're doing is gluing it to the bow itself. Again, this just helps integrate your bow. Okay? And there you have it. Okay? So now with our fillers, we're going to cut our fillers up. And we may not use all of this, but we're going to cut it up. And we're going to use it in sections where we think that we need some more flower. Like right here. Can you see this area right here? That needs something. So I don't think I'm going to need the whole thing, so what I'm going to do is cut it. Into a smaller piece, spread it out. We want it to cover a lot of real estate. Put our glue on it, and then we're going to slide it into that gap. We're going to slide it into that gap. Come on, slide in. Now if your flowers are too long, you can always fold them back on themselves and then fold them up again. Okay? Yeah, good. There we go. So now we filled up that little hole. So now I'm going to put one, I'm going to put one right here, right in here. But what I'm going to do is use this one, trim it a little. Now since I've cut in the spine of this, I'm using a lot of glue to hold it in. And when it is set and I do the pull test, I might pull on it and make sure, ouch, I might pull on it a bit and make sure that nothing comes loose. I think this guy's a little too long. Let's see if I can pull him out. I've got a different spot for him. There we go. Now see? Oh, a puzzle piece. Give me just a minute. Okay. Now see how that's not being dominant? It's just a background. Just giving a little bit of background. So we're going to do this piece over here on the edge, or at the end. Okay. Okay. So see how that all looks? So let's go towards our bottom. And we're going to do the same thing down here. I have a little hole. I have a hole right here. Let me get another one of these. And spread it out. Remember, give it some shape. Nothing grows straight. We're going to trim it off. Give it lots of glue. And we're going to feed it in to our wreath. There you go. Spread it out. Pull some of our other flowers up between it. Pull that down below it. Nothing lays flat, remember. I'm going to bring everything so that it's up off of the wreath. So you see how that filled in that hole? Okay, I'm going to put this one here, down at the bottom. I'm fluffing it out. Put some glue on it. And we're going to feed it right through here. When we have a hole, we're just going to feed that in just like that. Make sure we spread everything out, intertwine it amongst everything. So it's all integrated. Okay. And see at the bottom how we integrated that? All right, and I have one piece left, and I'm going to put that right here. Now I got to make sure that it does not overflow or overtake what's there, but just kind of fills in those holes. So we're going to cut it short. Fan it out. I'm going to take this piece off. There we go. I'm fanning everything out. Put our glue on it. We make a hole for it, and we're going to go right in here. Bring this flower up, take those down towards the bottom, and that one over here. Okay. Now, after this has had time to set, usually before I box it up, I will go through and pull on everything to make sure everything is secure. I don't want nothing coming loose. Okay. So we have a few pieces left. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to work it into the bow. Give me just one moment. Only because I want another floral in the bow. We're going to put it under the purple, over the purple and under the pink, just like that. No, I don't think this needs the sign. I'm beginning to think that I think the sign would detract from it. What do you think? Sign or no sign? And then we're going to take these two and kind of twist them together. See, all I'm doing is taking these two and just twisting them around each other. Put glue on them. And then I'm going to go right here and add this right behind this white rose. Just enough to give it a little background. And there you go. Now I will take a picture of this and look at it, but I don't think it needs the sign. What do you all think? I think it's beautiful just the way it is. If I were to put the sign, I would set it right there. I would put it right there. I don't know. I'll have to take pictures of it with and without the sign to see how it looks. But there you go. When I attach the sign, all I'm going to do is put pipe cleaners in those two holes and then wrap it around the grapevine. Okay, so there it is for today, y'all. Making a small floral wreath out of a grapevine. We used one stem. We used 2 stems of the ficus leaves, and then 1 stem of the 60919. So 3 stems and 2 greeneries. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll let you go and you enjoy your Saturday afternoon. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye-bye. All right, turn it off.